Hello, hello, mic check, mic check. Hello, hello, mic check, mic check, mic check. Hold up. Okay, so I have to start reading from like page 51, and I have already read this part, and the, uh, everything in this book, it's like everything is practical. I have also said it earlier, like it's all practical because I just can't. There is no point of reading this then. If I take this book and sit on a table or chair or wherever I sit, and if I read this, it doesn't make sense because everything that is explained in detail about fight 1v1 or using a sword, it's everything is written here. So there is no point of me just reading by sitting on a chair and not taking any action because by that way I will not learn anything, or there is it will not make any sense, right? So let's start stabbing the face. So the next part is stabbing the face, and I'm not sure about the sound quality because it's raining here. And anyways, let's start. You can see lightning, right? I have already turned on the light, but okay, let's just turn off the light for now. And like I know it's already too dark, but when it will be dark, like very dark again. And I'll just turn on the light. Anyways, let's dive in the face. When you have faced off your opponent and your sword are equally set, it is essential that you be constantly intent on stabbing his face with the tip of your sword. If you keep your mind on stabbing your opponent's face, he will pull his face and body back. If you can make him do this, you have various advantages of your victory. You should make through efforts in this. In the midst of the fight, if you are intent on making your opponent flinch, you will have already obtained the victory. For this reason, you should not forget about stabbing at your opponent's face. Among the discipline of the martial arts, this is the principle. This is the principle you should practice. Okay, so let me just check again. Okay, so there is no point of reading that I sit and sit on a table or chair or wherever I sit and if I read Okay, I'm back. So let's say when you close, okay, stabbing the face, right? So you should always like wait. Okay, let's say this is my sword, right? This is a type of sword. Okay, so I have to keep on, like I have to keep on. If this is my tip of the sword, then I have to keep on using like to stab on the opponent's face, right? Something like this. Okay, if the opponent face is same height as me, like this same as me, then I'll just try to always try to stab his face, right? So like this, there's I don't know how many ways to stab someone's face, but this could work. Also, this, I don't know more than any. So this is how you stab someone's face. And if he tries to avoid, like if this is what I mean, he tries to avoid, he would push the opponent would push himself back or right, left, like this or like that. Okay, so okay, stabbing the face, now stabbing the heart. So stabbing the heart. Stabbing the heart means that in the midst of a fight, when you are obstructed both above and at the side and are completely unable to slash your opponent, you should stab him the instant you are aware of having evaded his striking sword. Expose the ridge of your sword directly at your opponent. Draw back so that the tip does not waver. Stab him in the chest. If you have become tired or your sword will not cut, this technique can be used exclusively. You should understand this truly. What does it mean? Like stabbing the heart in reading the mix of fighting critical. So let's say like in an instant I should be aware stab his heart, something like that. This or that. So let's say this could also work as a sword, right? But it's too big, I think. But anyway, so I have to stab his heart. Then something like this, I think. Okay, the next part should be slap and parry. The slap and parry is used when you are engaged. The slap and parry is used when you are engaged with an opponent and the rhythm becomes one of just banging away at cross purposes. When your opponent strikes, you slap and meet his sword with yours. The heart of slapping and meeting is not simply in a fierce slap or a simple parry. In responding to your opponent's sword, you slap with his head, strikes, and then immediately you strike your opponent. The enough is that you take the offensive with both the slap and strike. If your slap is done with a good rhythm, even with small intent, the tip of your sword will not fall no matter how hard your opponent strikes. Okay, slap and parry. Encountering many opponents is of concern when you alone are engaged against a large number of men. Unheath both sword and short sword. Open left and right arms broadly, and take a stance with your swords tilted literally. Even when your opponents come at you from all directions, be of a mind to drive them into one place. When your opponents attack, see clearly who is in front of you and who behind. Quickly engage them, man or man advancing in front of you. But watch peripherally and understand the position of your opponent. Handle the sword in your right hand and the sword in your left at one time, but independently. It is not good to hesitate. That essence of this is to quickly take stances towards your opponents on both sides. Where opponents come forth, cut into them vigorously and put them into a disorder. Then immediately charge to where other opponents advance and rout them as well. Above all, be intent on driving your opponents into one direction, like a school of fish. When you see they are failing over each other, you should wade into them vigorously and without any pause. You should not chase indirectly towards the place where your opponents have gathered. You will not make progress. And if you start thinking about the direction from which your opponents will come, your mind will be waiting and you will have the same result. Where your opponents rhythm, know where they will crumble and you will have the victory. From time to time, practicing hardly your opponent, a group and chasing after them. If you understand the heart of that, you will be at peace. Whether your opponent's number 1, 10, or even 20, you have to keep this and practice it well. Okay. So the main thing that he wants to say was that like I have to be careful about who is in front of me and who is behind me. Right. So if there is one man ahead, I have to make sure I have eyes on him also. At the same time, I have to make sure if someone is behind me or not. Right. So I have to make sure that I know where they are going to come from. Right. So it's like like one, okay, one, two, three, something like this. Okay, and someone is coming from behind, right? So, ah, okay, this is not easy, right? I think this is not easy. Like if I even there is no one ahead of me, but still, oh yeah, I can do this. That this is one man, this is one man ahead of me, and two, right? So one, two, and three, and there is someone coming from behind. Okay, at the same time, or I have to dodge the attack, right? Nah, this is going to take so much practice. Okay, the next is if you do not chase indirectly towards. Okay, so our principle of exchange blows. The principle of exchange blow. Principle of exchanging blows refers to being able to understand victory in terms of the martial arts and the sword. It is not in written it down in detail. Practicing well, you will know victory. By and large, it is the sword that manifests the way of the martial arts. This is an oral tradition. Okay, so it's all about practice, right? If you keep the one strike in mind, you will assuredly gain the victory. If you do not study the martial arts well, they will be difficult to understand. If you do not train yourself truly in this, the way will be there for the martial arts to develop in accordance with your mind and for your mind to take the victory on its own. You should practice truly. One strike. Direct transmission. The heart of the direct transmission is handed down by the receiving the true way of the two sword style. It is sentimental that you can truly and make it a part of you. This is an oral tradition. Okay, so I have recorded in this chapter the main points of the swordsmanship of the two sword style in the martial arts. You take up the sword and learn how to overcome others. First, with the five fundamentals, you gain knowledge of the five stances. You learn the way of sword. No, no, no. I think I skipped something. Direct transmission. No, it's fine. Practice what is this book line by line, engage your opponents, and gradually you will grasp the principle of the way. Keep this unnecessarily in mind, but do not be hurried. Try your hand from time to time and learn the heart of each step. And no matter when whom you fight, know his mind. The journey of 1,000 and proceed step by step. So think without rushing. Understand think that this is the beauty of a warrior. Put these practices into action. Surpass today what you were yesterday. Go beyond those of who are skilled tomorrow and should those who are skillful later. You should do as it is written in the book and do not think in a way that will let your mind sidetrack. Therefore, no matter what kind of opponent you fight and defeat, by turning your back on this teaching, you will not be the true way. In this principle are equal to mind. You should be able to discern how to beat any number of opponents on your own. This being so, grasp the way of the martial arts with the strength of the knowledge of swordsmanship. For many opponents or only one. See that you temper yourself with 1,000 days of practice and refine yourself with 10,000 days of training. You should investigate this truly. Damn, bro, there is some motivational type. Uh, what should I name this? It's like so. Uh, what what's the word I can use? Wisdom, some ancient wisdom type shit. Like really. Oh, so Yeah, so that's how it is, and I will just turn the light on. Actually, there are so many mosquitoes here, right? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure you are able to those. I'm not. I'm not sure that you are able to hear those sounds like lightning and what's called anyways. There are so many mosquitoes here. Okay. Did you see that? Wait. Oh. That was actually kind of fire, right? Oh my god. I'm going to trim this part. I'm literally going to trim this part. Oh, that was, yeah, next level. Oh, let me see that. Let me see that. Okay, we should like uh, start again, right? Okay, I got too excited and carried away. Anyways, so the fire chapter. So what we have completed till now is and are so dirty. The thing is, if I would have like forgot about it, the fire, the wind, the emptiness. So I have completed the earth, the water. Now I am on the fire chapter. Let's see. This is the fire chapter. This is how it looks. The cover and in the martial arts of the two styles. Okay, so that this is where the two sword style starts. Should I turn off the light, right? Okay, just to get some good experience about lightning. That's why I have turned off the light. So I will read like this only because it looks good, right? So in the normal art of two sword style, I'll just turn on this light then. Um, okay, this is fine. This should be fine. I can read in this light, and I don't have to worry about much. In the martial arts of in the martial arts of two sword style, I compare battle to the I compare battle to fire. First, I have written about the matter of contest in battle as the fire chapter. First of all, anyway, in this everyone in this world fancies the insignificant principle of the martial arts, whether in knowing how to give the wrist a 3 to 5 inch advantage with the fingertips or in understanding how to gain the victory by extending the forearm by handling a fan or again by taking up a bamboo sword or something like it. Yeah, bamboo sword. This is actually a bamboo sword. By taking up a bamboo sword or something like it. All may study the simple advantage of speed, and in learning the functions of the hands and feet specialize in the lesser advantage of alacrity. In my martial arts, you put your life on the line many times by engaging in battle. You distinguish the principle of life and death. You study the way of the sword. You know the strength and weakness of your opponent. Striking sword, discern the you discern the way of the edge and back of the sword blade, and you practice how to strike and defeat your opponent. In doing this, you do not bother your thoughts with insignificant or small matters. Above all, when it comes to the principle of bracing yourself with the six kinds of armor, you will not be thinking of insignificant techniques. Moreover, my way of the martial arts is to know the way of victory with certainty. When you are fighting for your life alone against 5 or 10 men, according what kind of difference can there be in the principle for one man defending 10 in those for 1,000 men defending 10,000 men? You should investigate this truly. Nevertheless, gathering 1,000 or 10,000 men and studying this way is not something that can be done during ordinary times of practice. But if you only take up your sword on your own by gauging each opponent's strategy and getting to know his strengths and weakness, and by virtue of your knowledge of the martial art, you will plumb the depths of defeating 10,000 men and become an expert in this way. Who in this world can obtain my correct way of the martial arts? Whoever would get to the heart of it, let him do so with conviction, practicing in the morning and training in the evening. After he polished his technique and gained independent freedom of movement, he will naturally gain muscular powers, and his free and easy strength will be wonderful. This is the spirit wherein, as a warrior, he will put this practice into action. There are actually so many mosquitoes. This is such a good vibe here. Concerning place, in distinguishing the condition of the place of combat, the sun should be at your back. Okay. In, in distinguishing the condition of the place of combat, the sun should be at your back. You should take up your stance with the sun behind you. If according to the place there is a time when you are unable to put the sun at your back, you should try to put it in your right side. It is the same even if you are in a room. The light should be behind you or to your right. Okay, that is some very specific information given by him, right? Sun should be always behind my back, right? If not back, it should be always on my right side, this side. Yeah, it is the same even if you are in a room, the light should be behind you or to your right. You want to take your stance with no obstruction behind you. With your left side, it is so that you have closed off the right to have your opponent visible even at night. You should take your stance with the same understanding. Fire should be at your rear, light should be off to your right. For looking down on your opponent, you should consider taking your stance in a slightly elevated place. In a room, you should think of seat of honor as the elevated place. As for chasing your opponent about in battle, it is essential that you chase him to your left, that you get the difficult terrain to his rear, and that you then drive him above all toward those difficult places. In regard to such difficult places, do not let your opponent assess the situation. keep his face from being able to turn by attacking and shaking him, leaving no momentum unguarded even in a room. You should likewise drive your opponents towards the threshold, the line, the door, the shoji, the veranda, or pillars without letting them. In any case, when you drive your opponent before you do, so toward the place where there is difficult putting on some sort of obstacle at the side. It is important that you be intent to use the advantage of the place and gain some victory. With place itself, you should investigate this thoroughly and put it into practice. Okay, I think there was some information, and for other things, I think I have to really at least get some basic practice of sport style, right? I really have to understand what this basic, how to use a sword in a battle in 1v1. It's like the basic thing I can learn. Then I think I'll be able to understand very properly what this book is all about, what he's trying to teach. So that's how it is. There are so many mosquitoes here, like I really want to just go in my room and then read. Taking the three initiatives, the initiative of attack is one attack in my opponent. The initiative of waiting is when my opponent attacks me. Okay, I'm going to talk this one. Taking the three initiatives. The initiative of attack is when I attack my opponent. The initiative of waiting is when my opponent attacks me. The body initiative is when both my opponent and I attack at the same time. There are the three initiatives. In the beginning of any confrontation, there is no other initiatives than these three. You can quickly gain the victory according to the circumstances of those initiatives, and so they rank first in the martial arts. There are various distinctions involved with these initiatives, but you select your own according to the moment, and you will be victorious by seeing into your opponent's mind. Sorry. So, the weather is actually very good. Like everything is very good right now. It's kind of chill and it's little bit raining, and I'm just going to turn the light off. Like I don't know why when I turn on light, also I have to focus properly. I hope it focuses properly this time because the only problems here is are these mosquitoes. It's been only 34 minutes or 38 minutes. Wow, that is actually a very short time. Taking the three initiatives, the initiatives of attack is when I attack my opponent, the instructions of hitting is when my opponent attacks. Okay, there are three limitations. This is actually some, uh, what can I say? There are three initiatives in the beginning of any confrontation. There are no other initiatives that you can quickly gain the victory according to the circumstances of this initiative. So they rank first in the martial arts. There are various distinctions involved with this initiatives, but you select your own according to the moment, and you will be seriously by seeing your opponent and mind and by wisdom of the martial arts. I will not write down all the details. Okay, there are so many mosquitoes. I am going back. Wait. So this is how it works. Wait, let me just okay. Okay, so Okay. So now that we are here, go. Okay. Wood. Where my book? Okay. So now that taking the there are three initiatives. I don't have a sword here. You can quickly gain the victory according to the circumstances of this initiative. And so there are first in emotional, there are various distinctions involved. First in the initiative of attack when you consider attacking, remain calm, then suddenly attack the first and quickly. This is the initiative which you move your youths. But leave plenty of margin in your mind. Moreover, while your mind is using great strength, your feet will move a little more quickly than usual. Thus, the initiative is quick and aggressive. You put your opponent again unfettered. Your mind and from beginning in the end be intent on one thing. Machine your opponent. By this, your mind will be strong and very poor. There should be only one thing in my mind, right? Like striking the opponent. That's the only thing that I have to keep in mind. All events to initiative second in the initiative of waiting. When your opponent attacks you, stay completely unruffled but show a weak appearance, and as you come close, move away briskly. King as through you are now ready to leap away. Watch for the moment. It is okay. This is like I am reading some. Uh, it is like I am reading some script or something. Like I have to act, you know, as the line says. Second, in the initiative of waiting, when your opponent attacks you, stay completely unruffled but show a weak approach. It is like this is my sword, right? And if someone comes, I will act like I'm scared, something like this. And he comes, move away briskly, looking at through, and you are now ready to leap away. move away. It is like when he comes right on me, I will just act something like this or that. I don't know, but this is like how it is written in this book actually. And he relaxes, then take the victory directly and vigorously. This is one initiative. Another is when your opponent attacks you and come on even more strongly. Okay. Here again, okay. Gain the victory immediately by taking advantage of this moment. This rhythm changes. This is a principle of initiative waiting. To the body initiative as your opponent attacks quickly and advance calmly, but with just and as he approaches your entire being quickly becomes resolved. When you see him, we will take the victory directly and with strength again. When your opponent attacks calmly, you attack a little more quickly. So it is like if someone attacks me, like if the speed is slow, something like that, and I have to take advantage of and act like I'm fast, or it's like I'm taking, it's like I have to act in a way that I'm fast, like I have to take action fast, something like that is what is written here. The amount of time I have taken to complete this book makes me uh, realize that this is not something that I have to read. I should read now because every single thing written here is practical. It's like I'm sitting in a room and reading a book about how to use our sword or how to win in a 1v1 sword match. I'm it's it don't make sense reading by sitting. Like I have to be in an arena and there should be a coach, there should be someone to teach me, something like that, because I don't have any knowledge about sword fight or 1v1 sword fight. I don't know what should I name it, but that's why it took me so much time to finish even 50 pages. If there was a storybook or something like a novel, story novel about, I would have completed 1.5 hour. Like 50 pages is like 30 or 45 minutes or 50 minutes. Anyways, when he approaches, complicate the movement a little, follow his expression vigorously, take the weight. This is the body initiative. The subject is difficult to write about in detail, but you should make great efforts in what I have written down here. These three initiatives are used according to the moment in time and the principle involved. And although they are not always concerned with you making the initial attack, you want to attack first and drive your opponent before you, if possible. In any case, using the wisdom of martial arts, taking the initiative is surely at the heart of gaining the victory. You should practice this truly. Okay. Pressing down the pillow. Pressing down the pillow means not letting your opponent's head up. Pressing down the pillow means not letting your opponent head up in the way of martial arts combat. It is wrong to let your opponent lead you around or push you into a defensive position. Above all, you want to move him around freely. Therefore, as both you and your opponent are going to be mindful of this, it will be difficult for you to do if you do not perceive what he is going to do. Okay? What? All you want to move him freely. Okay? Therefore, as you both you and your opponent are going to be mindful of this, such things as check your opponent's strike, surprise his stab, and break away from grappling. Okay. So, in martial arts, like there is something called understanding opponent's move, right? So I'll first If this is the first time I am ever facing the opponent, I'll just assume that let take some uh, damage, right? Not actually, but let's learn his move. Like I'll just stand. If he strike his sword, I'll move backwards. His sword style, what he aims, where he was going to stab me, I'll just learn, right? That's what written here. And break away from grappling with his sword. Okay. Pressing down the muscle. You do such things, you check your opponent's strike, suppress the stabs, and break away from grappling. It is what is called pressing down the pillow. You grasp my true way, and when it's in a confrontation, see through the indications of what your opponent is going to do, regardless of his action. When he is going to strike before the word strike, you could even pronounce be intent on surpassing him and prohibit the rest of his action. This is heart of pressing down the pillow. In attack, for example, surpass your opponents in the letter A for leap, pressing for the letter L for cut. Suppress him in the letter C. This is all done with the same understanding. In martial arts, when your opponent is going to use some technique on you, it is important that you let him do if it's a useless one. If the action is function, suppress it and keep him from completing it. Okay. The mind that thinks suppress that about an opponent's action is also a mind of the defensive. First, no matter what you are involved in, entrust yourself to the way, and while the execution of a technique is still in play, suppress what your opponent might think of doing, even before the first letter of the word could be pronounced. Sustain your actions over your opponent so that anything he does come to nothing. Thus, you will be an expert and first in the martial arts. You should investigate pressing down the pillar truly. Okay, there is so much information in this book, and I know that I'm going to forget many of these things. Really, like first, I have learned that you should stab the person's face, right? So, person's face, and then I also learn about I should take, I have to keep take care of my surroundings, like how many men are going to come from behind in front of me. And the other thing was like, what was it? Look, I forgot. Taking three initiatives, what is it? I'll end this live stream right here. I will try tomorrow again.